And we are back. I'm so sorry about that, guys. Man, I'm so sorry. You caught me. Handsome. Thank you, Jody. Holy smokes. I think there must be an outage in my area. I don't know what is happening. I'm getting like the... Hi, Izzy. All right, guys. I think we're back. I think we're doing okay. It says it's still having an issue. I wonder if it's my... I think it's just my provider. I think there's an outage in my area or something because it's acting so weird still. Hey guys, welcome, welcome, welcome. Okay, Mike is here. Mike, I'm gonna for you. I'm so sorry, my friends. So let's talk about these guys, and I'm just gonna keep it going, and hopefully this goes well. I'm sorry. So let's take a look. What is going on with this company? So they're doing Lidar. So if anybody doesn't know what Lidar is, a lot of companies right now, what they're trying to do, we do have the EV push. A lot of this EV push is trying to... Oh, okay. Is that specific? If that's specific, Mike, I'll be happy to get to that. So, excuse me, man. So let's take do I think they found a bottom? So what's interesting is I thought this would have been the level of support right here, right? So let me go ahead and I'm going to put a trend line on here and let me see if I can get a good spot that I like. I'd probably do it around here. Yeah, I'll do it right here. So this is the part that I like, okay? And I wish they would have respected this level of support. They had a little W right here, George W. And then they went ahead and they bounced back up, right? So now here's the thing. They went ahead and bounced up, but look, it looks like they broke above resistance, turned it to a level of support for a few candles, and then it broke it again. Okay, no problem though, that happens. So the question is, what is going to happen? Taking a look here, it does look like it's oversold on the RSI. So at the very least, I think it's probably going to bounce just a little bit. What's going on? It's my DSL. Oh my gosh, I forgot about DSL internet. Who'd have thought? And so I think it is going to continue to run here. I really think it may have found a bottom, and thank goodness it's because, man, I've been in this stock for a long time. You know, I might wait for maybe a few candles and a few engulfing candles. Let's look at the 1 day and see how we're looking a little more microscopically. And I do like it. I really hope they found a bottom here. I think they may have found a bottom, especially with the RSI, where the RSI is sitting at. Let's take a look at the 5 day once more and see exactly how we're looking. And so the 15 MA has not crossed over the 200 EMA just yet. Now, if this 15 MA does cross over this 200 EMA and kind of holds, especially if it goes up sharply, like maybe tomorrow or within the next week or something, I think that could be a pretty fantastic move that could really, really help us out. Yeah, I think that could be a really fantastic move. I do have a position in Microvision. Full disclosure, my position is way up here, probably around the. It does have ways to go for me to really be feeling good about it, but I do feel pretty good about it. I think it'd be treat us pretty well in the long run. But as far as finding a bottom, I don't know. I'm an optimist. I think it did find a bottom, but obviously only time will tell. I'd probably, if you're looking to get a position in it, now actually may be a pretty good time to take a position. The question is it going to cross over and be oversold over here a little bit? And if it is oversold, then you may want to wait for it to come back to not being oversold anymore. However, if it does go down further, I don't think it would go down much further than this $10 mark. I suppose it could go all the way down to theoretically $7, but no, after all this time, I really don't see it going past this $10 mark. So if you want to buy in and then maybe buy in a little bit more and a little bit more, then that could be a good play for you. But I feel like this is a pretty good, I feel like it's a really good point to buy in at. That's my personal opinion. I'm gonna get a sip of water. I don't know if you guys saw me scarfing down that cheesecake. Yeah, Mike, I think this is Trey's trades. He thinks this is going to be a $100 stock by the end of the year. So you guys are wild. And so that's that. A great question. Man, that was a rough one. All right, any other stocks that you guys wanted to see? Oh my gosh, dude. Yeah, I'm sorry about that guy, Ignas. I really tried to help him, but it's not really helping. Corey with the MA. You know, I did like the I like both of them. I like the exponential moving average as well as the moving average, and just because it can kind of give you just a good indication of the way the stock is going. You know, whenever we see these big rips and stuff, it's hard to tell exactly, you know, it's all so drastic. You know, we see this following pretty closely, right? And it's hard to see exactly what's going on. So if you can smooth it out a little bit, then that'd be good. Just to see, like, whenever it's not looking so volatile, it kind of is a smoother play. EMA. One of my probably my favorite indicator though is this RSI. The RSI just showing so much. As a matter of fact, I have been wanting to add another part of the RSI. And I wonder if I can add the... I also wanted to add the RSI. Let me see, 6. I'm going to turn this to 7, and I'm going to turn this to like an orange color. And I'm also going to add... Ooh, this one looks a little crazy. No, I'm not going to show this right now. This is something that's in the works that I'm going to show you guys. I have some pretty interesting stuff that's going on. Start up another stream. We'll like that one too. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Oh yeah, the Ignis guy. I forgot about it. Yeah, I tried. Like, I wanted to look at his stocks with him. I wanted him to talk about his AMC shares, or their AMC shares. I guess I don't want to assume gender, but man, like, work with me here. Work with me. I defended that person. I was like, hey, it's cool. Like, they were spamming. I was like, hey, it's cool. Like, let's not. And then boom, just attack. It's like, okay, well, I can't allow it. Just can't allow it. Diamond, you messed up my internet by selling your TCAT. Unbelievable. I am very happy that you sold out, though. I was a little worried that you're going to be bag holding. I'm happy that you got out. Hopefully, you did make some money on that. So that'd be pretty fantastic. I'm calling it, guys. Catch you guys tomorrow. Tomorrow night, if Corey is streaming. I'm streaming every single day for y'all. So see you, Muhammad. Thank you so much for stopping by. And I will see you soon. Let's see. We can. Man, my internet is really not working with me today. All right, let's see what we have going with Exxon. And so Exxon is a company that we did look at before, and we did see. So here we go. We can see exactly what we had predicted. I guess kind of worked. Like we were seeing there was a ascending level of support, and it did break through that. So as we can see, it broke right here, right? And since it broke through it, now we're in bearish territory. We did have this level of support that was holding, pretty strong, especially as we were climbing up here. We want to see if there was going to be any levels of support on the way up. There may be a level of support around this area, but we'll go ahead and leave this one since it's around here now. It did go ahead. It was supporting okay, and then it broke right through. I guess so, maybe it wasn't supporting that well, but it did go ahead and break through here. And I do see here now, we can see that the stock is kind of hovering around this $56-$57 range all the way down to 54. So what you're going to want to see is where it goes. So here's how we use these indicators, right? This is a pretty good. Hey Johnson, welcome back. It's crazy stuff. Kid's a tool tray booted him a few times too. So anyways, let's take a look at these indicators, right? So we can see here, so we passed this level of support, which is fantastic. We want to be above the levels of support. We want to be supported. Now this 15 MA, this blue line, 15-day moving average, has hooked above this 200 EMA. So theoretically, this would be in some kind of bullish territory. And again, this is an art. This isn't a science. This may not be may not continue to hold. Maybe tomorrow Exxon will get some bad news, or maybe a bunch of sales will come in. Excuse me. So, but this is a pretty good setup. The only thing that I'm kind of iffy about is this RSI is, well, then again, it's around the middle. It's a little above the middle though, but I do feel pretty good about the setup for a buy, especially with this engulfing candle here looking pretty solid. Let's look at the 1 day and let's see how it looks a little more microscopically and see if I still feel the same way. Yeah, I mean, we can see how it hooked up here, and granted, it did cross under right here at this point, right, just as the day was ending, and it crossed under this 200 EMA, and now stayed under for a second, but hooked right back up. This is a pretty strong hook. So I'm curious to see what's going to happen in the morning if it continues to respect that. But as you can see, so take a look here, just because this 200 EMA or 15 MA hooks above this doesn't mean it's going to hold. You see, it hooked above and it held for a second, and then it dropped right under. But at the same time, now we can look at the other indicators of the graph. There's not just this. And I really, really, really like this 200 EMA. I'm sorry, the RSI. I really, really like the RSI, because here you can see it wasn't quite oversold just yet, but look how close it sold. And then once it's oversold and it hooks back up, you can kind of see that it's going to, you don't know how high it's going to go, but this just so happened to be a huge run. Okay, and this run from $56 to about, and even then, look, this is $57. Look how massive this looks, but microscopic it was in actuality. This was nothing. It was less than a dollar that it hooked up, and that's all the way. If you try to trade this, as a swing trade, that's all you would have got, and this would have been a long hold for you to hold. I wouldn't have recommended probably holding it for this long. And still it's that. So, a lot of people get into these day trades and these swing trades. And while, this looks like you have to keep in mind that for some of these things, you have to have a lot of capital to make it worth it. Like for here, let's say you would have sold up here. This would have been, let's say you would have done a little bit like 25 cents, right? But if you had 25 cents times, let's say you had 1,000 shares, so that would, oh gosh, I don't know what that math would come out to, but maybe couple bucks, or I mean $1,000, not 1,000 shares, but $1,000 divided by 50. Let's see, times 0.25. You would make $5. If you would have had $1,000 in here and you played this from 0.74, if you hit the bottom magically or anywhere in between here, and you would have wrote it up a little bit, that would have been $5. And granted, $5 in the course of this is let's say 11:15 to 1147. Maybe not the best. So those are things that you have to consider whenever you're looking to day trading. People forget that sometimes it takes a lot of capital to day trade like this. But as far as Exxon goes, as far as the chart setup goes, I think it's pretty great. And I think this could be a really good one. Oh yeah, somebody asked me about PLTR. Do I think it's going to go much lower? Let's take a look at the chart setup again. It's so hard for me. I'm such a bull. Like, I think everything's going to go to the freaking moon tomorrow. So let's do this though. Let's do a horizontal line. Can I grab it here? I'll go ahead and put it here. I feel pretty good about this this level of support. And the question is, you know, where do I think it's going to go? So let's take a look at the chart, right? You have a little chart set up, and I feel like front door batteries are down 50%. And I feel like this is a pretty good spot to be in. So right now we are at, and I think we're a little okay. So let's look at a few things, right? The 200 EMA isn't really showing us too much right now, right? And the 15 MA, especially in relation to the 15 MA, nothing really exciting, nothing really going on here. Now, it looks like there was a big sell-off here, and it looks like on the RSI, the relative strength index, they are almost oversold. So the question is are they going to bounce here, or are they going to continue to run up? That is the million-dollar question. Now, if you would have, now here's a few different ways you can play this, and this is something, you know, you need to experiment with, see what works best for you, and assess your risk. So what you could do is you could wait for this to drop, right? See if it bounces here. If it bounces here, and then it has an engulfing, you know, green candle, and it starts to rise back up, that could be a great time to get in for a little swing trade, especially if it's oversold in the RSI. Now, if it's oversold, if it's around here in the RSI, you just want to be a little bit careful, right? And looking down here, just because you don't really know which way it's going to hook. So you could buy it as soon as it hits, as soon as it goes oversold, right? And maybe it'll recover quickly, or maybe it'll keep going. And with this one here, as you can see, it just kept going, and then it kind of bounced back up. And so for me, I probably would have said to buy in around this spot, but this wasn't even the bottom here because it kept going oversold. So while this is a pretty good place to buy in, and I probably would have purchased back in as it's about to hook back up, it's difficult to really confirm that that's where you want to be. Welcome, Centennial. Centennial thinks there's going to be a boom in a few weeks. Centennial, I love your freaking outlook on this. I love your outlook. I did choose your stock without even acknowledging you. I don't really recognize your name, so welcome to the channel if you're new. I'm personally enjoying I love this outlook. Listen to this. The Centennial Investor says, I'm personally enjoying this market crash, or I would say market correction, but sure. Just taking advantage of these lows. And that's exactly the kind of mindset you have to have. These stocks aren't crashing, you know, they're what was the word I just used? They're correcting, you know, they're kind of adjusting. And in this adjustment, now's the time you buy. You know, if you want, you know, not financial advice, now could be a good time to buy and ride it back up. That's that's what you do. And whenever you have a crazy rip like this, you may want to consider getting rid of it because it's probably going to recover. This is an insane rip, you know, and it bounces. Not always going to bounce like this. Sometimes it's gonna come backwards, you know. And granted, for a little while, look, it was pretty positive. So you may not want to sell all the time, but you may want to look for those opportunities of where it may be overbought. Even down here, though, look, it was overbought, and it did recover a little bit, or I'll say retrace a little bit, kind of consolidated, and then it had another run. But granted, you know, those are the decisions you have to make. Even if you would have sold it here, though, you could have bought it while it was recovered. You know, you could have sold it at 33 or 32, whatever, and then bought it back at 25, you know, 20, 28, whatever it would have been at. And then you could have rode it from 26 to, or whatever you would have averaged down to, and then rode it back up to this amount, you know. Interesting stuff. Yeah, great. I love your outlook. Centennial says, I'm buying a lot of stuff right now because even if it's not at its lowest, it is at a considerable discount compared to its highs a few weeks ago. And that's a great way to look at it. Always, Animal says to always trade in the direction of the EMA. And there you go. And as you can see here, the EMA is not going in the right direction from something that you would want. So it's definitely something you'll want to consider going forward, you know, waiting for it to average out and then hook up. Is there a way to day trade or swing trade without 25,000 in your account? On Webull, you got restricted on Robinhood for 90 days. Oh, geez. I'll switch to Webull now. Oh, I'm not sure. I saw a few different... Man, I feel bad for you. You keep getting kicked. Yeah, I'm sorry, guys. You know, unfortunately, just the internet, I guess, doesn't seem to be doing too well today. And I'm seeing it on my viewer account. I mean, it keeps going up and then down and up and down. It's risky. I mean, not risky. I'm reading your chat. It's pretty unfortunate what's happening today. I'm probably going to just finish looking at this stock, maybe one or two more stocks, and I'm probably gonna just call it and maybe make a video or two, or maybe I'll just cry. Just kidding. Or maybe I'll just, you know, I'll it's just a little annoying what's happening right now. It seems to be doing okay. Maybe I'll wait for a second, but if it has another like little crash like that, I may just call it for the night. I'll let you guys know before I go. But yeah, super a little disappointing, but you know, there's always tomorrow, and tomorrow I think will be much better. Viewer count, it's like my stocks down. What do you guys think about Carnival Cruise Line? I do like these. I do like these stocks. Okay, and so let me go ahead and let me pull up Carnival here. So I do like these kinds of stocks, right? I feel like a lot of people want to do these things. And so I have different, and you know, this is great. So what I like about my work is we kind of rag on each other, but we talk about these other things like we have differing opinions, and we're not afraid to tell each other our differing opinions. For example, I was talking to, you know, the guys at work, and they don't like the cruise stocks. They don't like all the stocks that I like. I'm looking at the opportunity of this economy opening up, and they're looking at this as not good. They don't think that these stocks are going to continue to run. And now, granted, I do think we're going to have a bit of a correction whenever it comes to it. This may actually be the correction now that I'm looking at it here. And so this could be the correction that I was waiting for, or it may correct a little more. But I feel like these are excellent stocks to get into. Look at it on the 1 year. It was at $51 before COVID happened, and look how solidly it was trading. I mean, let's look at the 5 year. What does that look like? On the 5 year chart, guys, this had not traded at anything under $40. It was never under $40 since 2016. Okay, this, in my opinion, is an excellent stock. This is something that I've been telling you guys about this. I think I made a video about this months ago, because not months ago. I've only been on YouTube for a month. This is something that is such a great play, guys. I really like these stocks, and look, they are. Still, look at all the potential you guys have. I do think it'll go past 40 whenever, as they continue to open. By the end of the year, it's very possible the stock could be above $40, and this would be a great play. And that's that. I mean, take a look. Airlines is another great play. Don't get me wrong. Airlines are fantastic. You know, if there's an airline in particular you're into, it's something to consider. But I think people are going to continue with this. Planes are kind of a given, right? Because planes, people need to see their family, people need to go, people want to go travel, people want to do things. Man, I love flying on airplanes. I can't wait to go visit my family. I can't wait to do anything. Like, I want to go places. And that, I love lamp is what Diamondback M says. Love it. So definitely things to consider. I do think, and I'm nervous because I think one of the cruise lines is going to have a COVID outbreak, and I think that is really going to mess things up. So things to consider. Kimberly got an AA at 17 and out at, I think it's American Airlines, out at, in at 11, out at 17. Hey, great little play. Great, like, excellent. Quick, in and out. Looks like we may have a cup and handle here around here somewhere. If this is going to be a little handle here, then a little skyrocket, that could definitely be it. Okay, the little retracement and then pulling back. But let's look at this on the 5-year. Again, look at the 5-year, never trading. And so this is where it gets interesting, right? CCL was going to do a reverse split. Interesting. Oh gosh. So this is very interesting because these guys, right? Take a look. They're high, or not they're high. In the past 5 years, the lowest they traded at was around, and granted this is not with COVID. What is this? 20, we'll say 24, okay? And they're already back here. This is why I think it's going to retrace, because the economy's not quite open yet. Like, I think that it's going to retrace a little bit. And I wouldn't be surprised if it pulled back to $20, but hey, even if it pulled back to $20, I mean, it's still a great stock. Like, what are you going to miss out on? A few bucks? I think it's still a great stock to get into. And I think that as between this year and next year, I think that it's probably going to go back to some good numbers. I wouldn't be surprised if it's around, $50 within the next 2 years, maybe even $60 within the next 2 years, because I mean, people, like I said, people want to do things. It's a big deal. That was my first. I was so scared. Kimberly, it was a great play, and you did a fantastic job. That was, you know why it's so good? Because you did not get greedy. Okay, getting greedy is where you get stuck, and that's where it gets bad. I get hyped up, and then I miss out on the chat. I see a lot of people talking about CODX, saying, that's how it starts. What is the thing about CODX? I'm gonna add a AL to the watch list tomorrow. Yeah, I mean, there's look at all of them and see which one you think is the best. There's a few DDs on Wall Street Bets. They had a pretty good info about which one was probably going to be the best based on some interesting information. I can't even remember. Jamie, what's up, my friend? What's up? So let's look at CODX, see what's been going on here. What are they doing? So these guys are a healthcare. They're doing healthcare. I do like healthcare, and pharma, all that good stuff. Okay, so these guys are doing. They're a molecular diagnostics company. The company is engaged in developing, manufacturing, and marketing diagnostics technology. And diagnostics is like. Let me think. I'm trying to think of how I really feel about diagnostics, because diagnostics, I mean, it's, why I like it? Because everyone has to get, I think everyone goes through like these diagnostic tests. You know what I mean? Like, not everyone is diagnosed with everything. Thank goodness. That'd be so sad. But, to run these tests are so important for people to like. Okay, let's put it this way. Doctors would rather force you to like run this test and say, hey, you need to check if you have this because, is this only for COVID detection? Oh, okay. I was getting off on a different kind of tangent. I was going to talk about running tests because they don't want malpractice and this and that. So I'm going off on a different tangent. I'm going to wheel it back in and I'm going to go ahead and see exactly what's going on here. But for the detection of coronavirus, now this is very interesting. I wonder how they're going to do this. And, I didn't even think about the detection tools that we've been using this entire time. How many different companies are creating them? I think the government is probably buying them from them, or at least they'll pay them back or something like that. Very, very interesting stuff. Very curious. So let's see. Products. A lot of different products. Let's see if I can click into here and see diagnostic solutions, research solutions, vector control solutions. A lot of interesting things that is going on here. What kind of equipment do they have? CODX box. I'm trying to see if it has anything interesting. Compact design, but it's portable. Man, these guys are doing a lot. Okay, I don't want to get too deep into this just for obvious reasons, but let's see what else we can see is going on here. Okay, so they're doing the most. They were listed on 2017. I guess they IPO'd. Holy smokeronies. Okay, you guys sitting down? I hope you're sitting down for this. So in 2017, their profit was 7.36 thousand. 2018, 30,000. 2019, 100,000. 2020, $57 million from 100,000 to almost 58 million in 2020. Holy smokes, guys, that is insane. Institutional ownership 28.85%. Crazy stuff. The analysts look like they're saying 30 high of a 30, low of 16. They're currently at $8.52. Wow, this is a crazy one. This might be, so here's my question to you, right? And this is where, you know, we need to think. This is where I may overthink things, but I think kind of logically whenever it comes to this. Okay, so and there's a few, and I'll give you the counter argument to my counter argument. Now this stock, they're doing great right now. Let's say all that money is from COVID tests. Let's say they got a lot of money from COVID tests. That's great. What's going to happen in, let's say, a year or two from now, whenever COVID like is hopefully just annihilated or something? I don't know what's going to happen, but hopefully by then it's really under control and it's not that big a deal, and they're not using as many tests and blah blah blah. What's going to happen to this company whenever that happens? These guys, what a run. These guys went from less than $1 and with a high of like, you know, $30. Insane. Wow. The stocks you wish you would have invested in. But anyways, so what's going to happen in that time? Now, if they're going to take that money and if they're going to invest in their other products and really get something great out, then that could be fantastic. But if they're not going to be getting that new stuff out, if they're not going to continue to develop new products that people are actually going to want and actually buy and use, then this stock could just continue to go down, you know? And that's a very real possibility unless they continue to go. Now, I'm seeing in the chat, Tipsy says, make sure you educate yourself and do your own DD. Yes, make sure you're doing your own due diligence, okay? And it's very important, you know, and I'm just giving you these questions so that because this obviously looks fantastic, right? Especially with the analysts, what they're so bullish on it. It looks amazing. Institutional ownership, not bad. Their financials are insane. And now, again, what are they going to do with this money? It's a lot to... Those are just important questions that you need to ask yourself before you, as appetizing as this company looks. I would recommend just making sure you feel good about this stock, you know. Think about it like that. Jamie has an interesting thought. Let's see. Jamie says, I 100% believe with all my amateur knowledge that we're headed for another stock market crash, possibly worse scenario than the 2008 housing crisis. Interesting. Hate him or love him, go check out the first 30 minutes of Uncle Bruce's stream this morning. Hit the nail on the head as far as the hedge funds borrowing way too much money they can afford to lose. So that's very interesting, Jamie. I have two thoughts of that. Number one, so if you're talking about hedge funds causing a market crash due to all the amount they borrowed, and if the short squeeze is going to happen, it's going to force them to basically, who knows, go bankrupt or something. And if they go bankrupt, I do believe they're probably one of those too big to fail companies where they would get a huge bailout, and who knows what that would do to the economy or whatever. And so I guess theoretically that the whole squeeze and everything that the hedge funds cause could could theoretically do some kind of market crash. I don't know exactly what would be the true catalyst of that. I do see what you're saying. Now, if you think that there's just going to be a market crash, just without that being the catalyst, I don't think I would agree with that. Just because we had the correction, like the crash, like obviously with COVID hitting, that was a huge catalyst. The only other catalyst I could see causing a market crash could be the other thing. So could be like, you know, if the hedge funds get in big trouble. But interesting. I appreciate your thoughts. Vic says, Corey, I'd like to know what you think the difference is in AMC stock price when it was at $30 to now. Were more shares being held back then, or just more shorts now? Vic, you know, that's an excellent question. I've been trying to figure out the answer to that, because that is a question that I've actually had myself, right? What is the difference between, let's go 5 year. What is the difference between this stock and what happened here? We literally talked about this for like an hour, probably at work, just like talking about these stocks. And so I can't tell you definitively what's been happening, but what I could say is, oh, that's a good point, Siga. I'll actually comment on that in just a second. So the question is, you know, what happened? I do think that this stock may have been heavily shorted, and that may have assisted in stocks going down. We also have to remember that no one really knows what's going to happen with AMC and stuff in 5 years. You know, no one ever thought that Blockbuster would go out of business because of Netflix coming out. You know what I mean? A lot of people are moving to streaming, and who knows what they're going to develop or something if they do like VR movies, that people really won't be going to the movies now, or there'll be less movies because the demand isn't as broad. You know, there's not as much demand as people wanting to go to the physical theaters. Sure, people love going to the physical theaters, but if 25% of the population now no longer wants to go to theaters because they can just watch everything at home, or they're scared because of this, you know, that's that. Diamond, you have a great night, my friend. Thank you for stopping by. So those are things to consider. Now, this, you know, the person I was speaking with, he said that their financials just haven't looked good in a long time. And I wasn't able to fact check him, but let's take a look at what's been happening since we'll go to 2015. And I probably have to disagree with him. We can see this going up, doing very well. I'd have to disagree with him. The profit has been very good for the past, since how long ago? Let's see. Consistently since 2013. So I wholeheartedly disagree with what he was saying about the financials. He said their financials did not look good. They're not a good stock. But guess what? We see it here. Granted, I'm just looking at the profit, but the gross profit is looking strong. So I have no idea what his argument was. It does not hold water. And whenever I see him tomorrow, I'm going to let him know, because look at these financials. You can't tell me that these guys aren't a profitable business doing well. They may have been a heavily shorted stock. People were probably pulling out and scared that movies were going away or something because of the streaming services. And I don't blame anybody for pulling out of movies because they think the streaming services are going to take over. I don't blame them one bit. I might have done the same thing, you know, especially who knows when Blockbuster went out of business, but when all that was happening. So that's my theory. I think they were probably heavily shorted, and people weren't really buying the stock just because the future of movies was uncertain. Personal opinions. Centennial, I appreciate you, my friend, but I don't know if we need to plug in our own channel, my friend. VR would be taken over by adult entertainment, the big screen. Okay, well, I read that out loud. All right. Jamie, we have not talked about so late. I'm coming to the chat about Archegos. I don't know how you say their name. Getting busted today. If you haven't read that story, you need to. If you have a link for me, I'd love to take a look at it. If you can put it in something. One second. All right. How are you supposed to take someone out on a date if there's no movies? That is a great question. That is an excellent question. All right, so let's see what else we have going on. Let me see if I can post it on here. I'll send it on Twitter. Okay, yeah. Oh, okay. So you're right. I don't know why I'm being lazy. Let's see. Probably just work here, right? Okay, so yeah, this is what everybody's been talking about today. Matoya, continue with that supporting. We'll close this. How, I don't even know how you say this. Archegos, how they the 20 billion move to flee certain names led to bank share prices tumbling. So I guess some key points here that we'll just kind of read over really quick. U.S. media stocks, Viacom, CBS, and Discovery, plus a few Chinese internet ADRs experienced severe selling pressure on Friday. The culprit for the massive selling was a forced liquidation of positions held by the multi-billion-dollar family of the Archegos Capital Management. Archegos, I don't know, had built massive positions in these stocks through swaps, a type of derivative that investors trade over the counter or among themselves without having to disclose holdings publicly. Okay, so interesting. Hey, what's up, Bobby? Welcome. A slew of big banks are involved. Oh wait, a slew of big banks involved are warning of significant losses from the unwind of Archegos trades. Now, hey, this actually could be pretty interesting if this is what you're talking about, some kind of crash. I'm not sure what kind of holy smokes, look at this drop, just insane. Let's take a look at the stock. Okay, so 1010. So man, this is a crazy dip. Now my question, and here's the question. Remember, we're not emotionally attached to these stocks, maybe AMC a little bit and GameStop, but what we need to look at is this is an opportunity. Is this stock on sale right now? Is it going to have a huge run up tomorrow? Is the question, okay? And these are the kind of questions you need to be thinking about. You know, what is going to happen with this stock tomorrow? Is it going to skyrocket or is it going to continue to plummet? If it continues to plummet, then hey, maybe it'll be on sale then. But, you know, excuse me, things to think about. Very big things to think about. This was the crash, and look how quickly it recovered. So it recovered pretty quickly, and the question is, man, I feel like this stock is probably on sale. I like this stock. I like what's going on here. I like this chart setup. Now, Jamie, I'm not too. It seems like you're a little more versed than I am. Jamie, do you think this is a good play to like buy? And this is not financial advice, anybody. But I'm just curious about some theories here. Do we think this is a good play to kind of hop on, or are these guys going to continue to like? Yeah, it's got to go back up. Yeah. Okay. So Jamie and I we're kind of in a similar boat here. I feel like this could be a pretty fantastic play. Like, just looking at it right now, yes, it looks absolutely scary. It could continue to dip. But what do we think? So let me ask you this: why is I'm trying to understand exactly why the stock is down? Because let me paint you this picture. Let's say the stock is down, and I'm sure it explained it in here, but maybe I didn't comprehend why it's down. So let's see. The selling pressure on Friday. Okay, so from my understanding, in help me make sense of this, is this a stock that, so okay, and we're gonna get to the RSI in a second. So is this a stock that these guys were liquidated, so they had to pull out of their positions, they liquidated their positions, and so that's why the stock looks like this, right? So if the stock looks like this because they had to be liquidated, then this could be pretty, like, this could be great because they were forced to be liquidated, and so, you know, you may want to buy the dip. So that's a $1 million question right there. Now, as far as the RSI goes, I see Wolfpack. Wait for the RSI to dip below. So that's okay. So oh yeah, let's cover this really quick, and then we'll go to what Wolfpack says. In simple terms, a hedge fund had to pay banks back a lot of money in order to liquidate. Okay, perfect. Yes, in order to liquidate their assets. Right. And what's happening here? Okay. We'll go ahead and take care of this real quick. Sorry about that, guys. I don't know why people think anyone's going to read it or click it or get excited about that spam. I don't understand what people's thoughts. So, Viacom. Very, very interesting, okay? I think that this could be a great play. Now, we're talking about the RSI, right? So, the RSI, if this... I feel like the RSI will update a little more macroscopically to show that it's oversold. See, whenever you zoom out a little bit, it is oversold right now, and that is what's happening. So the question is, you know, what is going to happen right now with it being oversold? I feel like, or hold on, what? Let's go to the 3 month. Is that the 3 month? Oh my gosh! So look at this. It depends on the view that you're looking at. So the question is, so what you may want to do is you can wait for the RSI to hook back up, and then you lose out on a little bit of profits, but it can be pretty great. Now this is one of those stocks where I'm risky, right? And I've gotten burned by this, but I like to play options. And so this is the kind of stock that I would like to play an option on. So even if I put it out to January of 2022. Oh yeah, January 2022, right? I got confused with the 21 and the 22. January 2022, right? And if I were to think it's going to go, and we can see like how much this would cost. The only thing is this would be pretty expensive to purchase it. Oh, no, I'm on the wrong side of it. So anyways, you can see how you can play an option here. Man, so many different decisions that you could possibly do, but I really, really like where this stock is sitting at. And I think that I'm going to seriously consider playing this as a swing. Big time. Absolutely. Just because of where it is. And I'm just trying to let the wheels turn here. And you can see it consolidated for almost kind of consolidated for a little bit, especially right here, right? And then it continued to drop. So my question is will it continue to drop or will it not? Oh gosh. And I'm looking at this level of support over here like this. You can see this, and it's kind of where this one's at. Oh boy, oh boy. This is a very dangerous play, okay, if you're considering this. But I think that this could be a fantastic play if done correctly, especially with the way it's been trading. But it's very risky. So you just consider that. Is it so risky though? Okay, I'm gonna stop talking about this stock. I'm gonna add it to my watch list, and I'm gonna continue to monitor it just a little bit because I'm all over the place with this thing, and I just need to look away for a second because I'm getting some crazy thoughts in my head, and I'm trying to keep it cool. Trody says, I'm happy that Corey is streaming and letting me be here to talk to him and all of you. Such an educational experience. I'm Swedish, so I learn English and talk about a lot of stocks. Hey, that's great, Trody. I didn't even know your English is so well. Great job. English is so well. Your English is so good. Sometimes I can't even speak English, so you're doing a fantastic job. Why wouldn't others buy it right up? It's been nice yearly, or do they just know that the market is in trouble? So I think that, and we saw this. If anybody remembers what happened to Hertz, I don't know if I can even find it on. Let me look up Hertz bankruptcy really quick. So if you were in Wall Street Bets during last year, you remember that Hertz went bank. Okay, so March. Oh, it was only March 2nd. No, January. Oh, this is when it was published. Sorry. Let's go back. 2021. No, hold on. Hertz declared. I'm trying to find the article of when Hertz declared bankruptcy. Okay, it looks maybe around August, or well, we should see it on the chart, I think. Oh, they're not. It was HTZ. No, I guess they're not on here anymore. Well, okay, let's put it this way. Whenever Hertz went bankrupt, they declared bankruptcy, right? It looked like this. It basically fell off the face of the earth, and then the next day, it just bounced like right back up instantly. Because what happened was Wall Street Bets all bought the dang dip. They all bought the dip, and they really made a lot of money. Now, granted, this has been dipping for, let's look at the 1 day. It's been dipping for a few days. So, who knows when you found the bottom, but it could be very possible that this is going to just sky back up. So, like $75 or $70. It's a very, Serene, welcome. It's a very possible situation that a Sky Trader, you just bought 77 of these. Man, I love it. Corey, you talk on Zoom about this. Yeah, I would love to. Yeah, see, this is good stuff. So I think that this is a very real possibility that we could have like a Hertz type situation. Granted, Hertz was a 1 day thing. And this also happened with another stock that I really wanted to buy, but I did not buy. And I wish I would have bought. And we can see it right here. So let me go back to the 1 year right here. Okay, it happened in 1 day. It happened so fast. Let me see if I could change it to the 1 hour candles and zoom out a little bit. I should have looked at the date. 1 second. I'm sorry about that. Well, anyways, we can look at this. I know it's a little ugly, so sorry about that. But basically what happened here was the stock went to 32 cents. Okay. And I was like, I should buy this. And what did I do? I asked for advice from people who knew just as much as I did. And they gave me bad advice. They said, why would you buy this stock whenever it's so low? And I knew it was a crazy, didn't make any sense, the kind of sell off that happened. And then the next day it went all the way up to $1. Well, it went to like $1.15 or $1.50, right? So imagine if I would have bought this and I was gonna like all in this. I was gonna buy, well, at least $1,000 worth. And imagine if I would have bought this at 32 cents and let's say I sold that at $1, I would have easily doubled my money right there. But I listened to other people. I took other people's advice, and it was a bad move. I shouldn't have done that. I should have YOLO'd. Okay, and that's not always the best thing to do. So don't do that. But look, if I would have YOLO'd this, the first day it went to let's say $1, and then the next day look $2. Okay, and then granted it fell. So hopefully, who knows if I would have sold then? But if you would have, these are the kind of opportunities that don't come very often, and that you need to see exactly. You need to see what's going to happen. And no one knows what's going to happen. But you know what? Looks very appetizing. 100%. When did this start? The 22nd. Yeah, it's been going down for a while. Man, very, very appetizing play. I'm really liking it right there. Hit those thumbs up, guys. Least we can do. Thank you, Olive, for reminding people to like the video. I always forget. Well, I just don't want to badger people, Anyways. Colin says more markets will bleed, so depending on how many liquidate to meet margin call. That's a great question. That's a great point, Colin. So the question, are they completely out of their position? Well, I guess they had to sell out to get out of their position. So this is something that people are anticipating is going to happen with GameStop and AMC. We saw it happen. Now, granted, I don't know who it was that forced this. I don't know anything, any of the details. So maybe I need to do my research in here. But if anyone has like exactly what's happening here, I would love to know, because as in who forced them to liquidate. I have so many questions about this, because if they were forced to liquidate by, let's say, that new DCCC rule or something, that'd be very interesting. Because if this were to happen for GameStop or something, look at imagine this going the opposite direction, you know, holy smokes. That's what I'm here for. That's what I'm waiting for. Which is why I ain't freaking leaving. What is all the credit? And those are my thoughts. Also, this is not advice. We're just talking about something. We're having a conversation, not financial advice. Mohammed, I'm sorry, my friend, I missed you. Mohammed says, hey, do you think the announcement tomorrow for GME might be a catalyst for a squeeze? I'm not sure what announcement they're making tomorrow, actually. If they're going to make an announcement, it's probably, I would imagine, some kind of good announcement. I don't know if it'll trigger a squeeze unless it's like we're being bought out by Amazon or something. That could probably, because what would happen is that would cause the stock to skyrocket. Everyone's going to buy into GameStop now, especially if they think the squeeze is going to happen and they're getting bought out. So I think it's possible, if the news is very good and a lot of people who weren't bought in, scared to buy in or anything, if they started to buy in, I think it's very possible that if this stock started to run, it could really, really start to run, and it wouldn't end. So Colin says they're margin calling because the prices of certain stocks are higher inflation to their debt to income percentage in their portfolio. Okay, yeah. So essentially, there's getting margin calls. So interesting. Animal says maybe they want to get liquidated, so the share sell-off would spark a panic sell, and they jump back in at the bottom. Okay, Animal, if that's actually a very interesting thought. Even then, let's say they did want to spark a scare off, like, and people are selling. And again, a lot of stop losses were triggered here. So this is not just them selling their position. This is stop losses. This is a lot of factors going into this. But if these guys were able to trigger that, you know, they triggered all this stuff. That's a great point. You know, maybe what'll happen is they'll write it back up. It's very possible they're just going to write it back up. No problem. And that's something I am a little afraid of the hedge funds are going to do. I'm afraid they're going to find some kind of position, but I don't know. They just seem so greedy. We keep seeing the articles and the information that they're just like, the stock, you know, for example, let's use GameStop, right? They were shorting GameStop, and then it, you know, it went all the way up, right? It went to $300-$400, whatever it went to. And then people are, and I'm not sure if this is factual or people are speculating or what, but it makes sense. Let's say they doubled their positions while it was at $400, and then it went down to $50 consolidating, and now it's back up. So remember, if it was at $300 or $400, realistically, that probably isn't sustainable for GameStop in its current state. $400 is not sustainable, especially whenever they have a short pressure on it. And remember, shorting just by nature is considered basically like selling. It drives the stock of the price down just naturally. And so that is what that's just the way it works. And so theoretically, they double down on at 400, and maybe they made a little money on the way down, whatever. But it's possible they can write it back up. Who knows what they're going to do? So many different scenarios about this. So we'll have to see. Jamie, I think I will take a look at that video by Uncle Bruce, and we'll I am curious to know what he says. Colin says it causes their lender, international banks, to do a money recall, and it's kind of like it is kind of a, and it kind of is a good research. The call is their game plan to the coming future. Interesting. NCLH. Hey, Huey, I do like NCLH. This is one of those stocks that I talk about by the NCLH. Yeah, Norwegian Cruise Line. I was like, wait a second, they're selling cars. Anyways, this is one of the stocks I do like, and this is something I've been anticipating, this kind of correction. Okay, but take a look at the 5-year. These guys were doing fantastic over the 5-year. The lowest they traded at was $34, you know. And remember, people want to do cruises now. People can't wait to go do cruises. I want to do a freaking cruise, and I think this is going to be one of those stocks that you know, buy it before the hype has kind of already passed, but there's still plenty opportunity to make money. I love the stock. Let's say AMC went to the moon. I don't know. Let's say it went to $1,000 tomorrow or something, or I don't know. Let's say the squeeze was over and I could invest. I would heavily put money into cruise lines. 100%, no doubt in my mind. I would have definitely put it in cruise lines, and this being one of the cruise lines. I might actually have a position in this company. I can't recall, but I love cruise lines right now. Olive says, Corey, when I hear people making 1K profit on options, is it possible to also lose 1K? VIAC options seem juicy. Absolutely, guys. Whenever you make that money on an option, let's say you're here, right? Let's use this stock just right here, right? Let's say you bought an option right here to go to, let's say $10, and right now you're in the money, right? You're doing great. If this stock drops down to $7 again, you just lost all your money, you know. So, you know, you have to make sure, and that's why, you know, and the great part about this is, let's put it this way. If you're scared about your option and you just need some time, right? And you'd rather spend that extra premium to get the option a little bit further out the money than get it too early. So, for example, look at this. Okay, so right now we're at 26.21, right? You could buy an option for January of next year. And granted, it's going to be a little more expensive, but you could get it over here at the, you know, let's say $27, $30 strike price. Granted, it's going to be $490, but you have all the way until January for this stock to reach $30 plus. Now, granted, you're going to want to see what the break-even price is. So it technically needs to hit $34.90 for it to be a profitable option. But if it hits this profitable option point, if it hits $34, above $34 by January of next year, then hey, you're in a good spot. And look, as you can see here, let's say it goes to, let's say it only goes to $40, right? If it goes to $40, look how much money you would have made. You would have doubled your money. Okay, like great. These are some great plays that you can make, and a great way to leverage your money if you're if you feel good about it. These are called leaps. You can do leaps from, I think a leap is considered a 6 months to a year, something weird like that. Don't quote me on the exact time, but it's basically a long-term, it's an acronym, but it's basically a long-term like option that you can do. And these are great. I like to trade leaps. I like to do it for a long-term whenever I've played. So, and granted, I pay a little more for the premium, 100%, but I still feel good about the money I can make. Okay. And if you can find a stock that you think is less risky, you know, a great one is GE. If you guys were there for my freaking swing that one day, it went up like nothing, and I made a lot of, I doubled my money. I almost tripled my money, but I pulled out, and I pulled out at the right time. Perfect, picture perfect. But here, I mean, imagine here, if you thought GE by, let's go to January of 2021, let's see what this would cost you. So let's just do $15. And you think it's going to be $15, this cost you $120, but you have until January of next year, right? Let's say you got this. Now your break-even price is only $16.19, okay? But look, if this goes from, let's say it hits $20, look how much money you would have made. You would have from $119, you would have made $408 on top of that, just if it goes up a little, because this stock is not very volatile. It's not really going to go crazy. And so that's something to consider whenever you're looking at these options. You can buy it far out, and hey, $120, no, like, sure, it's better than buying all the shares. Because could be great things. I really like options a lot. Very risky, but hey, you know what? For this kind of upside that you can get, it's worth it in my opinion. Hey, imagine if it went to look, if it went to $25, look how much money you would make. And granted, it's always nice to see how much money you make, but will you make that money is the question. And that's the $1 million question. That's why it's important to know what your company is doing and get in before the hype, before the volatility drives up, because once it gets super volatile, these premiums go up because it's much more likely for them to hit the strike prices. Okay. So super important. I love options though. I really do. So many benefits. No problem, Huey. My pleasure. I just can't afford to lose all this money. Yeah. That's where it gets tricky, you know. And the only time that I've really gotten burned on calls is whenever I purchase them too early in the money. Too early, not in the money, but too early of a expiration date. That's the only time I've got burned. Whenever I do it for, you know, we don't know what's going to happen in 1 month or 2 months, especially with these cruise lines. For all we know, the cruise lines are going to be pushed back out. They're not going to be able to leave port. You know, they're not going to be able to launch, and then it's going to drive the stock price back down. Maybe it'll go back to $18. But this is why I like buying them all the way out in the money. So let's say they keep getting pushed back, right? Then you know what? Even if they drop back down to $18 in a month or whatever, guess what? I still have the rest of the year for it to go all the way back to my strike price. And I think that's extremely important for people to keep in mind whenever you're thinking about these options, you know. That's why I like to purchase them out further, because as we know, if you look at a stock over the course of a long time, it's going up most of the time, unless you're looking at AMC over the 5 years. But things to think about, guys. Corey's Corner. Hey, Beverly, I was talking about you earlier. Because you're like you're the poster child for HOFV. I was talking about it, giving you props. Welcome. I'm glad to see you here. Corey's Corner. I love it. And so that is my very passionate opinion on that. Pulling out at the right time is very important. Animal, absolutely. And that's another thing to keep in mind, guys. Let's say you do get in these options, you know. Let's go back to NCLH. Let's say you do get these options, and one day it has a huge run up, you know. Things to consider are, you know, do you just want to, you can pull out, and if it pulls back, you can get back in. The only thing is, don't hold it until you're the very last date that it's due, because you don't know what's going to happen. You know, you could buy it out for January, and if in August it's at a good height and you feel good about it, you know, see when cruise season is, and see when they're historically when they make the most money, and maybe pull out at that time. You don't have to wait till the very end. I wouldn't recommend it. Gibber, I don't know why your chats are being deleted, my friend. I'm not doing it. Oh, you're retracting, I guess. Okay, so let's see what Gibber says. Beverly, see, you're popular over here. Everyone loves you. Yeah, everyone wants to see what the big news is tomorrow. I'm super curious. Gibber says, so I took a risk on 2 contracts for AMC. I bought an $11.50 call, $11.50 call for $4.9, and a $20 call by $5.21. Thoughts? Hey, you know what? I like those, and I'll tell you why I like those. $4.9, $11.50. So let's look at AMC really quick, and I'll give you my honest opinions. $4.9. I feel good. Ooh, $4.9. Okay, with the volatility of AMC, I feel good about it. I will say this: if it hits that within the next, if it hits it at any time, you have to see what your break-even price is, though. But I'd be a little cautious. I don't like to play options so close. Like I said, these recent times, guys, that I played these so close, even within a month or 2 months, I'm getting burned. So whenever I get burned with this, so I would just be super careful. I probably would try to sell it as soon as possible, whenever you're happy with just a little bit of profit, just because it's just so close to being, you don't know what's going to happen on these days. You know, the 7th, 8th, 9th, you don't know if there's going to be I don't know, some kind of attack or something. So I just be a little cautious. So this one, it worries me just a tad, but I feel like it's very, very possible for you to hit that. The $20 call for 521, I feel like is very good. You probably got that at a good cheap price just because it's so far out of the money. But by 521, remember the share count is going to be over. Hopefully the DTCC rules will be all intact and working perfectly. So I think that one is going to treat you really, really well. So break even is 1050. Oh, hey, yeah, you're sitting pretty then. Yeah. I wouldn't get greedy on the 491, just personal opinion. I'd be very careful not to get too greedy on that because that's where people get burned. I've been burned on my first 2 tries. Yeah, I got burned on. I got burned last Friday also with my calls. I'm not doing short-term calls anymore. Short-term calls, I don't know. I just can't seem to do it. I had that one call that I was super lucky on with GE. That it was a 1-day call. I traded it within like an hour or something, and man, it was so great. I made a lot of money. Well, I doubled my money. It was like $10 or $14 I paid. So, but still up 140%, pretty good. But yeah, that's how that worked. Anybody having trouble selling on Binance? I don't know what that is. What's up, Dustin? Wolfpack says, yeah, 2K down in 2 days will make you think you're close to, will make you think how close you are to options because it doesn't get cheaper, it makes them better. Yeah, and that's exactly, that was the trap I got caught in, right? I looked at these options and I said, you know what? If AMC goes to just 1050 by Friday, look how cheap this is. It's only $50. But if it goes to 14 again, then I'll be rich. And unfortunately, that didn't work for me. I lost my $50 or whatever I had paid for it. It felt bad, but you know what? I've learned some valuable lessons and I made some friends along the way. So it is what it is. That's the way the cookie crumbles. No worries. No worries whatsoever. Except for the money, I guess. Do you use Binance or binaries? I don't know what this is. I don't know what Binance is. Jibber says, I'm an options noob and I picked those out thinking logically what the price could be within 2 weeks to sell the first call. I also wanted something that a couple weeks that when all the information comes. Jibber, that was sound thought process in my opinion. That was sound logic. Absolutely. I personally, I like to buy my options just out of the money, just in case, because it is so much cheaper than buying them in the money. And so, obviously, if you're buying an option, you're bullish on the stock, or whichever way you think it's going to go. I think most of us are probably bulls in here, so I'm just going to use bullish. And so you probably think it's going to go up. So, the only thing is don't get too greedy looking at how cheap these stocks are because they're this cheap for a good reason based on analytical data, analytic data. Based on data, that's why they're so cheap. Okay, it's a lot less likely that they're going to expire in the money. So be very careful. Mental games are rough with AMC and GME. You gotta tune it out. Tune it out. Sometimes I feel like I'm just losing my mind. I just do weird stuff, guys. I apologize. Sky Trader with the super chat. Thank you so much, my friend. Check out ALYA. Don't mind if I do. Covers several sectors that look bullish. Interesting. Let's see. IT, technology. Technology is a little scary right now just because, the retracement and this stuff. Hopefully they did find a bottom. I think they probably did find a bottom, right? So we'll see what happens. Let's see what these guys do. They're engaged in the strategy and digital technology sector. The company's offering falls under the following categories: strategy, such as strategic consulting and organizational performance, architecture, and co-management. Microsoft solutions for enterprise resource planning, ERP, customer relationship management, business analytic, and Azure-based solutions. Oracle Cloud-based, man, these guys are doing the most. Oracle Cloud-based solutions for enterprise performance management, enterprise resource planning, enterprise business solutions, and business analytics, as well as custom solutions such as remote digital solution center, systems integration, and development and business analytics. Wow, its clients cover a spectrum of sectors such as banking, investment and insurance, energy, manufacturing, retail and distribution, telecommunications, transportation, professional services. Holy smokes, these guys do the most. The only thing I get, oh, see you, Ricky. The only reason I get a little concerned with some of these companies, and granted, I don't know anything about this company, is you want to make sure they're not spreading themselves too thin. And I say that, but I right before I said that, I looked over at their listing date. So they IPO'd in 1996. So these guys probably are pretty established. They probably know what they're doing. And maybe they're not spread so thin. Maybe they've established one thing at a time and they've done well. Now, my question is, who are their clients? Who's this? Who's that? And we may be able to go to the website and see if they have any clients listed. Okay, if I can learn how to use a mouse, then we'll be looking good. All right. Sure, we'll go ahead and accept you for now. So what we do, who we are, partners, looking good. Great partners, Microsoft, Oracle. I was hoping to see something like Salesforce on here or something, but maybe I'm misunderstanding some of what they do. They obviously do a whole lot, but I will say CRM systems are so important. That's what Salesforce does. And it's a whole business in itself. If you guys know anything about Salesforce, you basically need a BA. So not only, like, let's say I buy Salesforce now, right? Well, now I'm sure they have pre-packaged solutions, but now I basically need a developer or team of developers that work specifically in Salesforce to set up the processes, set up everything, integrate the APIs. Just like it's a whole, we're integrating Salesforce at our work right now. And it is an absolute nightmare. There's so many, it's robust. It's very, very robust, but it is not fun at all to organize, to get together. It is rough. So let's take a look at their financials. Okay, been around for a long time. How have they been doing recently? So gross profit, and so I did anticipate that they would be doing okay in 2020, just because a lot of people we saw here in their profile, they do have the remote digital solution center. What a time to have that kind of industry, you know what I mean? Like, to be in that sector. That's why sometimes you gotta wait, like Zoom, you know. It's just so weird because everyone has Skype, you know what I mean? Like, Skype has been around, established, but what took off? Zoom took off. And, you know, who knows why it took off? I guess they had some benefits as opposed to Skype, but so interesting. Dustin, thank you so much for the sub. I appreciate that. I appreciate it. Working hard. So yeah, people, you know, it's interesting what just takes off. So, and as we can see here, they did fantastic. They've been growing year over year, very minimal growth. And now this was a great little push for them. Hopefully they're integrated well into other people's systems. And I don't know how they do it. Maybe they have consultants come out and tell them exactly how to integrate and what they need. And that's a whole solution and yada, yada. So that could be pretty fantastic. And hopefully these new customers that they acquired stay with them. Hopefully it's some kind of software as a service or something where they're in a continuous either contract or just partnership where they are. There's a saying, you want to be like the light bill, right? The light bill, guess what? You pay it no matter what it is. You just need it. And whatever it is, it is. And, you know, that's how some companies try to be, you know, marketing companies, they want to be the light bill, you know, you want to be the guys who are making all this, just that they can't live without you. Institutional ownership, 34.95%, not bad. Not bad at all, especially on the sector. If you start to notice trends, right? So if this was a, what is it? Mortgage or something like that, finance, you notice that there's a lot of institutional investors in those. And this one right here, just being with CRM systems and stuff, is probably on par with what a lot of CRM systems are. As a matter of fact, let's look at Salesforce. I'm curious what, I think this would be a lot. Yeah, it is a lot higher. I thought it would be a lot higher just because they're so established and stuff. So but you know, it's good to compare these things, and they're a little bit different, but you can see that there's a ways to go as well with this kind of stuff. Analysts seem pretty bullish on it. Looks like it's all $3.80. So interesting stuff. Let's take a look at the chart setup. Wow. So this is the 3-month chart. As we can see back here, some crazy movement. I mean, I don't even know what happened. If there's a short squeeze or what. This is insane. It went from $2.50 to $16. I mean, almost 17. And then look, so this is something super important to look at, guys. Like, where's the day? This is all in one day. This is all the first. February 1st, right here. All of this, February 1st. And where's February 2nd? Here's February 2nd, right here. In one day. Okay, that's insane though. But let's continue. And they had another bounce. Okay, so it looks like they're having some crazy bounces. I'm curious what will happen here, because this looks like, you know, pretty good ascending level. Just like just a pretty good channel, just upward moving. Now the question is are they going to drop back down? I would not be surprised one bit if they dropped to 240 and then they jumped back up. And I also wouldn't be surprised if they all of a sudden they had a huge run up. But as you can see down here, like at the previous one, I think you could probably see, yeah, they were just trading basically flat. Let's see if I can move this. Trying to remove this candle. Yeah, basically flat. I mean, so I would not be surprised in the least bit if this happened. And what you may want to do is, as you can see, you may want to wait for a huge spike and sell, and don't get greedy. You know, if you get in on this, sell it $4, sell it, you know, $3.50 or something, and get a quick profit, get out, and maybe it'll bounce again. It could be pretty huge. And that's my opinion. Options, no options here. I'm curious when this was listed on the NASDAQ. Yeah. Salesforce, just taking a look at Salesforce really quick. Let's see what else we have. James says, after 70 minutes, I've remembered to hit the like button. Ding, the fries are done. Thank you so much for hitting that like button. I appreciate it. It just helps get these videos seen, you know, crazy. Viacom, is it the only one that shot down because of liquidation? I'm not sure if it was the only one shot down, but basically, yeah, it was the liquidation. And this is something people may want to look at as a swing play, but I mean, I don't know. It looks very appetizing, but you know, just be super cautious if that's what you want to hop into. Ooh, Monte's great idea. Setting a sell limit, get your quick tendies and get out, play it and bounce. You know, we don't have to be married to every stock. Not every stock is a long-term play. Some of these you play a quick swing and you're out. You know, you don't have to hold everything forever. Kimberly, I don't know too much about NFTs. I'll take a look at the stock though. WKEY. Let's see what Jibber says. Jibber says the 1150 call option was $75 and the $20 call option was $93. Huh. Oh yeah, because it was a little far out. Okay, I see. Yeah, it makes sense. So this stock has had a bit of a run up. I'm a little scared with these stocks, these kind of NFT stocks, just because I don't fully understand them yet. I think there's going to be a huge market for NFTs, and maybe this is the ground floor, you know, or maybe it's run up a little bit and we're going to have a weed stock situation where it's just going to plummet. So I'd be extremely careful with these, and maybe even consider a stop loss type maybe even a stop loss type situation here. Really hard to tell. I mean, it's really hard. Let's look at this on the 6 month. Yeah, see, so yeah, it's super run up here. So just a caution, just a little bit of caution is all I'll say. Wait, what was your question? I'm just like rambling without even acknowledging. I'm going to be bullish. Okay, so Kimberly, you don't know if you should be bullish or not. man, so many different questions. Okay, so let's break this down, because actually I have a few different opinions on this. So this kind of stuff, right, is a little it's very tricky. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, we don't know which way it's gonna go. Could be for all I know, this is gonna be a Bitcoin type situation, you know. I don't think that helps you at all, but it could be that. Another thing to consider is, unfortunately, I'm just not too versed on this. I was gonna say, you know, you don't know if these are if people, you know, with if this is the art stuff and stuff like that, you don't know if it's gonna skyrocket, if someone's gonna do really well, if someone's gonna do poorly. It's gonna be scary. Personally, I'm not hopping in any of these. And I also haven't done my research, so I wouldn't. I do a little more research, and if you want to talk about it, I'd be happy to talk with you about it. Like, do some research. I'll shoot some holes in it, and I'd love to play that game. I would absolutely love to. But yeah, for this quick dive, it's really hard to say. Made it back at the end. Sweet. Hey, Eddie, I'm like over my time and stuff. We'll see. We'll probably look at just a few more here, and I'll probably head out. I stayed. I was gonna only stream for the 2 hours, but unfortunately, with everything going on, it wasn't fair. I wasn't trying to give you guys half of the show or something. So that's that. Someone asked me to look at a stock, and I can't even find it now. Take a look at. Okay, we have WATT. Someone else asked me for one more, and I can't even find it. We'll do WATT. Is this right? WATT. Let's see what's going on with these guys. These guys are industrial goods. I like industrial goods. So, let's see if I can go to their website. I feel like going to the websites for some of these guys are going to be much better. Yeah, Eddie, my stream is lagging so badly. Wireless charge. Oh my gosh, what just happened? They charged it from a distance like that? It's just charging next to the thing? You guys see this? What? You just have to put it near it and it charges it? The only thing, okay. This is gonna be a tricky one. So just I'm trying to figure out how to word this. Okay, so the only thing I'd be a little bit scared of, and oh gosh, I don't even want to say it because it sounds so conspiracy. I don't want to be fear mongering, but I'm gonna preface by saying I'm not an expert on wireless signals. I'm not an expert on this kind of technology. I don't know anything about this. My only concern is going to be what kind of signals it's sending, and if it does anything to the human body. You know what I mean? Like, let's say, you know, I sound like one of those people like 5G is causing COVID. No. Just something like that. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just curious what that does, but I'm sure it's completely safe, and I'm sure, right. How is that charging possible? I have no clue how this charging is possible. This is, thank you, Andrew. It's very impressive, very, very cool. And this is going to pick up, if depending on the kind of technology, if other people can adapt it, if it works for any device, if you're just buying that little thing, the little tower or whatever it is, looks like an Amazon Alexa realistically. So a lot of questions that go into this, but wow, this is a very, very, very cool product. Again, I have a lot of questions about it, but if it is safe and the studies have been done, I know the tinfoil hat. I need my tinfoil hat, Kimberly. I mean, I really feel like a crazy person, which is why I'm so cautious. And I don't want to spread misinformation or fear. Oh my gosh, what is automotive? You can put it in your car. Guys, this is the coolest thing I've ever seen. Office. Well, okay, we know we can put stuff in the office. Now, where is it coming from? Is it coming from behind the computer? Man. You see, this is where I get no. Okay, the E right here is a different device. Okay, this device is charging this one. There's devices over here if you're over there. This device here is charging over here, and this over here. So, you know, Interesting stuff. Very, very interesting. The only thing is, are those questions. You know, this is the type of tech that gives guys man. Yeah, this. So just being a little looking into that medical, man, guys, this is some really, really cool stuff. Now the question is, who are their competitors? Who else is doing this? You know, I have a lot of different questions about this, but I freaking love this. This is so cool. I think I'm gonna add it to my watch list because I think that this is a very interesting stock, a very interesting business, you know. And I'm very curious. Let's look at their financials. Let's see when they were listed. 2014. Okay, obviously they've been working on different stuff since 2014, or they were working on this time. Andrew, you love the channel. Andrew, that was a great find. I appreciate that. Thank you for showing me this. So let's see. I see the wheels turning. Some interesting stuff, guys. This could be cool, you know. Now my question is, what is the competition? What is the are they gonna try to sell this? And I think the best kind of scenario for this would be a buyout. If they can put this technology in the Amazon Alexa, I don't know who's blowing me up, in the Amazon Alexa, or it thinks I just ran a mile or something because I've been shaking my hands so much. Cool. But if they can put that in Amazon Alexa or anything like that, the Google Homes or both or whatever, if someone buys this company, man, talk about a payday. So gross profit. So it doesn't look like there's really anything in here. But look, their gross profit, guys, this could be the company. Their profit, look, 20, this is over the quarter. I mean, over just the year. This is quarterly. So 20K, 27K. 60K, 90K, growing. And this is the kind of stuff that excites me. Let's look at the 6 month. Okay, so great movement on the 6 month, huge run up here, kind of retraced. This is where, and it's so hard, guys. Every time I see this, I'm like, did we find a bottom? Like, Corey, did we find a bottom? And I think we did, but I'm too much of a bull. It's so hard to tell if we found a bottom. I think we're close to the bottom. I'm not sure if we found a bottom yet, but I do think if we haven't, then I think we're very close to the bottom. And I would feel comfortable, like personally, I'd feel comfortable buying in here and either averaging down or being like, look, I'm not going to average down to save 10 cents, you know? So personal opinions. Now, if it drops drastically, then yeah, you know, it'd be a great place to average down. But personal opinions. Wow, I'm really digging it. My watch is gonna die. Institutional ownership 14%. Yeah, I mean, Vanguard, BlackRock already in here. Analysts say it's a $6 stock, and you know what? I'm with them. Now I don't know when this was updated. This could have been updated a long time ago, whenever it was around here or something. But wow, Andrew, the champion. This is a great find. I'm really happy you shared this with us. Thank you. I have some research to do. This is the future. I feel so corny saying that, but this is kind of futuristic. All right, I'm gonna look at one last stock, and then we are going to probably call it. It's the same concept as the Tesla coil. I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing, Lee. I really don't. Someone had given me a stock, and I don't want to leave them hanging. Tino, if that's pretty cool. See, a lot of people, they just kind of go back to these other things that people thought about. And I think here's the deal. This is the concept that a lot of people have had for a long time, you know, a very long time. Obviously, if Nikola Tesla, this is what he wanted to do. And just being able to do it is so impressive. But I'm afraid we're going to have if anybody remembers Roundup, we're going to have a Roundup situation. But I don't know, it's a little scary. But I freaking love it. And I want to look at the technology. And so it's not so hard. I'm going to think about how exactly I'm going to research this. I may do a video or something, but we shall see. I think I'm going to call it there, guys. I feel good about this. We'll end it here with Andrew's pick of the day. I will be back tomorrow. We'll be back tomorrow at 6 p.m. Central. Whatever that is to you. And so I will, sorry, Kodiak. Kodiak, we'll check it. We'll check it tomorrow, my friend. Remind me. and I'll remember you and we'll check it. I do have to log. I'm a little over my time. My fiance is probably feeling neglected, and so I'm gonna spend some time with her, hit the hay. Got to get up early and do it all over again tomorrow, but no worries. Oh, Gibber, that's scary stuff. I hope you use the right PPE to stay safe for that, because I know that stuff was it was pretty scary. But I'm gonna leave the chat hanging with you guys just for a little bit, so you guys can go ahead and pick your just say bye to each other and say hi or whatever it is. But I appreciate everyone hanging out. There's a recent web seminar. Thank you, Andrew. If you're in the Discord, I'd love a link. I'd love to take a look. Maybe I'll do a deep dive into this company, because I really like it. This is those plays that no one's talking about. That can be a fantastic play, long term, or even midterm. So things to see. But yes, have a good night, everybody. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. I appreciate it. If you haven't already, drop a like. If you're new here, welcome. Consider subscribing. I'd love to hang out with y'all, chat with y'all, and we'll have a good time. We always have a good time. And so yes, okay, I'm gonna leave you guys with the ending screen. Say bye, and I'll be watching the chat for a little bit if you want to say bye to me or leave me a little note. So you guys have a great night. All right, peace.